like it. I like it. Another former Laker. Well, I'm going with a former Laker as well, but he's out west with the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson. And he dropped, guess what, a 40-piece. And I'll top you on the threes made. 8 for 13 from three-point land. He was special last night alongside Donovan Mitchell. This Utah Jazz team, you talk about standings, Chris, they're number one in the West right now because of play of guys like Jordan Clarkson and Bogdanovich and so many other pieces that we know they have. They have a great team with great depth, and this is a team that a lot of people may want to pay attention to making a deep run in the Western Conference.
Hey, fellas, you guys are bugging right now. We're not going to talk about Ben Simmons having a 42 ball and Greg, they won. Ben Simmons won a game 42, 12, and 9. And with no Joel Embiid, they knocked off at least for right now, the best team in the NBA. And Ben Simmons last night showed us that, hey, man, I can get busy without the big fella. So, hey, man, I am exactly right now with
I think they lost, right?
It's okay.
Oh, they lost?
It's okay, Chris. He doesn't know any better.
I read my stats wrong. I read them wrong. Hey, he got busy, though.
Ben was nice, but they lost.
He got busy, though.
I'm with you. He was nice, but they lost. So the Lakers will be without AD for the foreseeable future. Excuse me. Yes, re-aggravated his Achilles injury. So, Chris, the Lakers, other than LeBron, what other Lakers other than LeBron need to step up in AD's absence?
Well, look, I obviously know one player is going to be as great as AD, but I'm going to point to Kyle Kuzma. They need other guys to step up as well. But Kyle Kuzma, he's actually been playing pretty well lately after kind of a slow up and down start to the season. He's averaged about 14 points over his last several games, shooting the ball better. I think Kyle Kuzma, because of his size, they need him to give them more to kind of make up for what they are going to lose with AD.
Yeah, for me, it's not just one Laker that needs to step up. When you're trying to fill the shoes of a guy like Anthony Davis, I got to go with a couple guys. And again, like I said earlier, it's why you acquired Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. These are two guys that are more than capable of putting and producing points on the offensive end and then defending. Montrezl Harrell, mentioning earlier, he has to be better on both ends of the court because of how huge AD is on both ends of the court. But I like this team, and it's those two guys, in my opinion, that have to come to the playing table.
I hear you, Greg. But it's all about Trez, man. In his 6-man year, I worked analyst for the Clippers. He averaged 18 points and 6 rebounds per game. Trez has the type of athleticism and playing style to bring the Lakers what they need and what they're going to be missing without AD. That's a guy who can finish those dimes coming from LeBron James and give somewhat of an interior presence right now. So if it's anybody, Trez can fill in and give you 20 and 10, either off the bench or potentially as a starter if needed. So I'm going to look to Trez to fill AD's absence for right now.
Okay, a number of stars set out last night as their teams marched on. So, Chris, the player that set out last night that is most crucial to his team's success is who?
Man, you can see from the graphic, and we didn't even put KD on there, a lot of great players sat out. And it was tough because without any of these stars, their teams aren't winning the championship. But I'm going to go with Joel Embiid as the most critical guy to his team's success. Embiid, we all know, having a great season. The Sixers are 1-5 without him. 1-5. I said earlier, the Lakers 4-1 without Anthony Davis. The Sixers lose 5 out of 6 games without Embiid. Their net rating is 16 points worse when Joel Embiid is not on the floor. So he clearly is the straw that stirs the drink, I should say, with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, I'm with you there. When you look across the league, there are a lot of great players, but Joel Embiid impacts his team more than most guys because of what he provides on both ends of the court. And he's arguably having his best season as a pro. And so when you look at that, you need him to be healthy and on the court when you're going up against those elite teams in this NBA. And with Joel Embiid sideline, it just takes away a lot. And we saw last night in a loss what Ben Simmons had to do, but they still lost.
Greg, my man, hey, fellas, hold your mans accountable. It's all good. Hey, man, hey, but this right here, y'all both got it wrong. It's all about Kevin Durant. The next 3 games, okay, the Brooklyn Nets have the Lakers, the Clippers, and Phoenix coming up. Yeah, them boys could breeze right past the Kings, but they're going to need Kevin Durant, the easy money sniper, to potentially get back in the lineup. So maybe he misses the game versus Phoenix, but you're going to need him if you're going to get any type of win versus the Lakers and Clippers, or if that, to make a run for a championship. You don't do this without the unicorn, baby. You got to have Kevin Durant back.
Okay, we're just over a month away from the trade deadline. Kyle Lowry, one of the names that could be on the move. But Chris, the biggest name to watch at the trade deadline is...
Yeah, I mean, Lowry's certainly a good one. There's no doubt about it. But I'm going to go with Andre Drummond, all right? In Cleveland, we know he's sitting out right now until they can move him. But with his contract, he makes $28 million this year. He won't be easy to deal, you know, because a team may feel like they got to re-sign him, or you just got to put together a lot of money to match that salary. And here's the thing, if he's not traded, then he could hit the buyout market, and that's what a team like Brooklyn is waiting for. You bring Andre Drummond in there, he doesn't really help the defense, but he certainly helps your rebounding, which gives you more possessions. And he is a big body. So now I've got DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond to bang up against a guy like Joel Embiid and other big men they may meet in the playoffs. So I'm watching Andre Drummond, and I got to be honest, I'm hoping he doesn't get traded so he winds up in Brooklyn after being bought out.
For me, it's Blake Griffin. And as a Michigander, born and raised and a Piston fan, like, you hate to see stuff like this, but both the team and Blake Griffin, they've agreed he's going to be sidelined. He's not going to even suit up until they figure something out, a scenario that best suits them as an organization moving forward and Blake Griffin as a player. So when you look at what he's been able to do over the course of his career, we know his stat line, we know who he is. And when we talk about big names, there really isn't a bigger name than Blake Griffin. Ryan?
Fellas, I'm not mad at you at all. I'm not mad at what you're saying, but this is all about Bradley Beal. And I know what you're saying, Chris, that Bradley Beal is not on the trade market. And I talked to some front office execs that said, no, he's not being looked at. But in all reality, guess what, guys? Washington, that situation in Washington isn't getting any better. And the one thing that we're going to agree on right now, the NBA championship is somewhat wide open with Anthony Davis's injury, Kevin Durant coming back off of injury, and Bradley Beal could be a piece. It may take a multi-team deal that could get a desperate team that's willing to throw the house, maybe like a Miami or a Houston or somebody like that wants to get a mix, or a Golden State that will make a play for Bradley Beal. So right now he's not on the market, but we know this thing is not going to last too much longer with Bradley Beal in Washington.
All right, we got tonight a 6-game slate in the association, including the Bucks, Blazers, and Pelicans. So, Chris, the players you're most looking forward to watch tonight are who?
Believe it or not, I'm going with James Harden. Now, I'm loving watching James Harden at point guard. His dimes, obviously he's still giving you 20-plus points, shooting the three, running that offense to perfection. But here's the deal. They are facing Phoenix tonight, and that means James Harden could be matching up with Chris Paul. And I know Kyrie will be on him a lot too. But these 2 point guards, they played together in Houston. It didn't end well. We all know that when they split. So I want to see them go at it. I think Harden is making a case that he's the best point guard in the league, and I want to see what CP3 has to say about that.
Okay.
So if it's anybody, Trez can fill in and give you 20 and 10, either off the bench or potentially as a starter if needed. So I'm going to look to Trez to fill AD's absence for right now.
Okay, a number of stars set out last night as their teams marched on. So, Chris, the player that set out last night that is most crucial to his team's success is who?
Man, you can